Very, very deep understanding of the difference. Yes, of course, in the first few words only, you were able to make me understand CPR and no CPR. Yeah, so I think this is such a fantastic training where if I know, you know, it is so rewarding to know that I can get a skill where I can save a life, you know, and this skill is
Absolutely.
is absolutely technical, but but through conversation. If you're trained only through conversation, you can just save a life. So I think this is the beauty of it, where we can at least, say this in open that yes, PF is a fantastic concept and the schools should adopt it because after pandemic there has been a lot of changes. I have seen a lot of times where I'm getting calls like, okay, you know what, there's something bad happened at home, there's corporal punishment happening at home and the kids are coming back to school black and blue. What should we do? Such a small thing, and the counselors of the school, they are not able to handle that, which makes me feel bad and sad that, oh my God, I really don't know what is going to happen to those children. There are so many different levels of complaints and different levels of concerns that we have received recently, which again, pops another question in my head, sir, that if there's a school who wants to take up PFA, psychological first aid for teachers, what do you think? How will they get to know that they need it first? And second is, what are the key action points that they should focus on when they are thinking or planning to get PFA in action in the school?
Okay. Any person who is working with the children should know the basics. That means the child protection policies of the government of India.
Mhm.
Every school has to implement systematically, vehemently the policies of the government of India. If we really look at it, any act or any policies with respect to the Child Education Act, POXO Act, Information Technology Act, all this, Persons with Disability Act, National Trust Act, all the acts are there for the protection and safety of the children.
Yeah.
That means the government is very keen on providing best education. It's not just a best education where the child feel I'm protected, I'm safeguarded. That's the most important thing. Emergency need not happen only outside of the school. Emergency can happen within the school also.
Yeah.
That means what? How much the school is prepared? Same question I'm coming to the preparedness. How much the school is? What is preparedness? Preparedness is nothing but having rules, regulations, policies in place.
Yeah.
And without any policy, without any regulations, any rules, how the staff members are going to act.
Yeah.
For example, suddenly a child uh, meets with an accident, suddenly falls down and injured. How to act? The teacher should know whom to call first, what to do first, where the child should be transported. There should be directions, there should be instructions, there should be incident referring systems should be there in the school. That's very important. That means the school should have a comprehensive response and recovery plan or policies. That's very important. They
Mhm.
should know how to work with the children, how to get prepared. That's very important. And then the second thing is once you know how to respond and recovery, involved in recovery plans and implement the policies, the second point is that how to train the staff.
Yeah.
The staff should be trained. How to
Very.
train? It, it should address the immediate need, the midterm need, the long term needs of the students, including the staff members. The training is there. For example, you have done the PFA. After the PFA, what?
Exactly. I was coming
They
to
should
that.
know the referral system. They should know where to start and where to end. Their role.
Yeah.
They cannot Of course, we say that how to function as a doctor where there's no doctor, but you cannot become a doctor.
Hmm.
That means when there is no doctor, that means you are going to give the first aid interventions. Then you should know the referral plan systems in fingertips.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Otherwise, what is going to happen? You have done the basic work and you do not know how to go. It is something like that tying your eyes in the middle of the forest and leaving you. You do not know which direction to go, where you are standing. Your creativity and critical thinking not going to happen.
Yeah, if you're
Yes,
playing in the dark, you will lose. It's as simple as that. There is no
yes,
light.
yes, yes. That's very important. And third important point is that how we are going to practice it.
Yeah.
Very important. A frequent practicing of the comprehensive response and recovery plan. That's very important. See, I'm very happy to say that the school where I'm right now, we do mock drills because Assam is in the seismic prone zone. So we do the mock drills and we make the children um, understand that how to respond during the earthquake situation. The drills we do it, and everything will be the siren will be there. There will be checkpoints. Which direction, which way door, which staircase the child should move out, and when the earthquake comes, what you're supposed to do. You have to stay where you have to stay in the classroom, and where you have to reach after the tremor is over, and later point of time, the ambulance systems, the attendants, everything is there. Everybody's trained in that. Actually, we have conducted the psychological first aid training to the teachers some years back, and we are thinking about it, doing it once again. It's very important because new teachers are coming and information has to be given. Whenever any teacher comes to this school, at least I must proudly say that since I'm talking from that school, that first thing is that one of the important orientation is child protection orientation. What you should do when there's an emergency. That's clearly explained. And that Rights Story is one of the organization which has supported us, helped us to create the child protection policies. And we are vehemently implementing those policies in the school systematically because what the government says we are supposed to follow is not only what the government says, why the government says. For government, every child is a property of a government, I can say that. It belongs to the government. And that's very important. And then the fourth point is we are constantly in touch with organizations who are supporting us, particularly Rights Story or any other organizations, with respect to the well-being and welfare of the children. We periodically evaluate our policies and also we redesign the plans and also the operational standards for the school. And fourth is that we keep an eye on non-cooperative staff members also.
Yeah.
So these are all the five major areas when we call it as a preparedness to address the uh, children who are affected by different disabling or stressful situations. Then only the other things comes: how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, to whom to do it.
All right. So I also have a question that when we talk about PFA, who can give this training? Who is qualified to conduct a psychological first aid training? According to you, like, what do
So,
you feel?
uh, who can teach uh, CPR, for example? The medical professionals only, those qualified, the doctors, the therapist, particularly this physiotherapist, occupational therapist, nurses, they are all qualified people to teach CPR. The same way, psychological first aid, it's better if they get trained by the qualified psychologists, psychiatrists, or mental health professionals. I'll tell you the reason. It is not the psychological first aid, it's a PFA. And The action is not going to be 2 to 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. But for that, there are questions to be answered.
Mm-hmm.
Why, what, how, where, when. So these things has to be supported and this has to be taken care. It's only by the qualified professional who can be able to teach you these things. Not everyone can. Of course, if the person is trained very well, he can teach. But it is very important that the people, those who are qualified, those who are psychologists, psychiatrists, clinical psychologists, counseling psychologists, are the right people who will be able to teach anybody the psychological first aid systematically. Because it's not that simply why PFA? How the PFA is going to help the person in the future. As a teacher, for example, in the school, when a child is referred to the counseling psychologist and they are able to do the follow because what is expected afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
they know about it. So there will be a follow-up session by the teachers. And they also part of the observation how the child is growing. It is not that I put the child in a psychologist, I've done my PFA, and the psychologist will take care. No, that is not. It's a teamwork. And the psychologist will need the help of the teachers because the intervention is given by the psychologist, by the children or with the teachers. So teachers should be able to observe. I told you the 4 areas I told you. These things to be observed, and then only uh, the real impact of the intervention can be useful to the or measured by the psychologists or by the teachers.
Thank you so much once again, sir. I have another question which has been bothering me a lot for a very long time. And this is where, I think I thought that you'll be the right person to answer this for us. We've been getting a lot of calls regarding anti-suicide workshops. So we get a call that, hi, is it right, sister? Do you guys do anti-suicide workshops? And, it always bothers me that how can we talk about suicide? We cannot talk about suicide. Like what do we mean by anti-suicide workshops, or what is the right way to, address this concern of schools? You can take
We
your
can
time.
conduct a
Yeah.
Instead of working on anti-suicide, we can working on making people strong.
Yeah.
Okay, so suicide is when a person the suicide there is ideation already there. There are symptoms. The person must have already given certain hints, and it has to be observed by the people around the person. And this decision is taken, and it is taken just like that. Sometimes they get prepared, sometimes they take it just like that. That
Mhm.
means why the person is taking, because suicide is one of the negative coping mechanism.
Yeah.
It's an avoidant coping mechanism. I
Yeah.
can't live anymore. I'm not fit to live in this world. Everything is over, and I'm not suitable to live in this world. There will be self blame. There will be pain, suffering. They take the decision to end their life. So we need to. That's what no. uh, PFA plays very important role, Shika. It's a very good question you asked. Why the person has to take the decision? Because there was nobody to support him. There is nobody there in this world for him. He thinks that he's left alone. She is left alone. There is no need for the person to live anymore in this world. So I have taken the last decision of ending my life. So why it is happening? That means when the person underwent some stressful situation or a very difficult situation in their life which they cannot cope up, they take the decision. These are the people who need PFA. These are the people who need support. These are the people who need that empathetic touch by the fellow human being. Then that can be prevented. That's why no, there are so many models in PFA. You must have known about it. Okay. There is one of the model is the John Hopkins Health Center model, rapid model. It's a beautiful model. Okay. The rapid model is reflective listening. Okay. Assessment, prioritization, intervention, and disposition is one of the best model. This about training to be given to the thing. Other model, the TO's Department of Health also came out with Human Services also came out with the other model. It's called listen, protect, connection, model, and teach. That's also one of the best method that the simplified pattern from the WHO is that look, listen, and link. That's a
Hmm.
beautiful one. So look at the person and listen what the person is communicating and link, connect
But
with the things.
but sir, when we talk about listening, you know, maybe I can be wrong, but there are times when, some people, some students, for attention,
Yeah.
say that, I'm going to commit suicide. So we like, again, we get a lot of queries just to understand that which is a real threat and which is a fake threat, and how to differentiate between a real and a fake threat.
Now, see, when a person says, I'm going to die, please don't take it for light, granted.
Mm-hmm.
As a person, our duty is to safeguard. For example, I'm telling you, there are ops call comes, bomb. If somebody gives a call to the government, to the place that put a bomb, the ops call, the government knows it, but they don't live it. They do everything systematically. The protocol is there. They immediately call the squad, bomb squad, and they alert the people. They are intelligent people.
Mm-hmm.
The security people are intelligent. They are not really no. They're not fools. But the protocol says like that. There's nothing called works
Yeah.
till we confirm it. That means there is nothing called empty threat till we confirm it.
Okay.
Okay. That means any person who gives or any person who says, I don't want to live, these are all the symptoms. And they say it. We have to understand that why this person is saying, I don't want to live, what's happening to him, what is bothering him. And we cannot take chance. It's the life of the person. We need to help the person. We need to reach the person. And this is called reaching the unreachable. So the unreachable can happen. Even the distance of the person can be just say a person sitting opposite to you, but still he becomes unreachable because your emotional connect with the person is not up to the mark. So that you are not able to understand that what the pain and suffering the person is undergoing. Array is simply telling what's the great deal about it. So anyone says that I'm going to die, I feel like commit suicide. Don't take it for granted. Respond to the situation. Our duty is to respond.
Yeah, basically,
There's nothing called empty threat till we
yeah,
confirm it.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's very beautifully put, because now I think whatever gray area I had, it's converted into black and white. Now I know that, okay, until unless I confirm. I think that's another big question, that how do we confirm? But they are trained professionals for that. The psych,
So that's what no, this is called a psychological triage.
yeah.
Okay, what is that meaning? It is a process that assesses and prioritize the needs of people experiencing psychological distress.
Mhm.
There are, I'm very important, Shikha, I want everyone to understand that for this question which you asked about that, uh, how to analyze and understand, the questions are how do you prioritize psychological and behavioral reactions? Second question could be, uh, which one do you know to respond to first?
Yeah.
That's what the important thing is that. Or the third one can be, uh, that is that which one are more likely to be resolved by themselves, the person himself.
Hmm.
One, which one we can resolve for himself, help him to take a decision. I'm sorry, and which one can be resolved by themselves. Another thing that how to the appropriateness is very important. No, how to mitigate that acute distress and dysfunction as appropriate. And if it is so, what is the right intervention? What is the specific intervention can be provided for the short-lived relief?
Got it, sir.
So, how to recognize when to facilitate access to further mental health? This is the most that this is the thing. Once you understand that whether the issue can be resolved by the person or the professional or by whoever it is, and how to respond to the situation, then we think about the referral system. Okay, the very important in psychological first aid is that the main objective I'm telling you, practice self-care.
Yeah. Obviously, if you
Yeah,
don't have, you are not empathetic, if you don't love yourself, you don't accept
yeah,
yourself, you
yeah.
will, you know, you will not
If
be empathetic. Be very, very
if you are
practical.
not empathetic to yourself,
Yeah.
that's why I said I started with this thing. Now, the person who is not even empathetic himself is the person who is videographing the distressful situations and sharing it in the media and look for how many likes.
Yeah.
This is the main thing. This is what the important thing is that this psychological charge is one of the important thing.
Charity begins at home, right? So if you wanna, like, you have to inculcate self-love. You have to make sure that you're empathetic towards yourself first to be able to help.
Same thing. It
Yeah.
is same thing. Very important in the aeroplane also. What happens when there's an emergency? You have to put the oxygen mask to yourself first, and then to the person. So your safety also important. And in the I mean the Red Cross, how do they work when there is a war zones? The self care is very important. Self protection is very important. That's one. Recently, we called a military officer for the leadership training program. He said fear is also important.
Yeah, of course.
Fear is also very important. You can't, you cannot lose your life just like that for nothing. And the fear helps you to analyze and assess um, and your actual situation so that you are there to fight back or to guide your team to win. So that's very, very important. That's very important. So that's, so first is safety. The safety helps you to stabilize and the stability gives you comfort. That's what we discussed little few minutes back.
Great.